So I think it's about time that I make a sequel to the This Changed Call of Duty for the Worst video. Now if you haven't seen the original video, essentially what I talked about was microtransactions and supply drops and how they were ruining Call of Duty, making it pay to win, stuff like that. And a lot of my opinion still stands, because honestly not really much has changed in that matter since then. And I was planning on making a follow-up video after that, but not really anything changed. So if I were to make a follow-up video, I'd just be talking about the exact same things over and over and over again. So I decided not to do that. However, Activision has introduced something new that definitely has warranted this new video. Now, I'm not really going to be talking about supply drops necessarily in this video, but the issue that I am covering definitely relates to supply drops. And yeah, that's why I'm making this video. So, Activision has just filed a new patent that is going to be changing the matchmaking system in Call of Duty. Now you might be wondering, wait a minute, that doesn't sound like a necessarily bad thing. The matchmaking in normal Call of Duty games is pretty terrible. So if you don't know how Call of Duty games matchmake, essentially it uses a thing called skill-based matchmaking, which pairs you up with other players who, you know, have around the same skill level as you, trying to create a nice balanced game experience. However, this can hurt matchmaking somewhat, as it takes longer to find matches because it's trying to find players within your skill level and not, you know, trying to find any player like, I don't know, some other games do. So it is a good idea, but it can hinder matchmaking, which is why some people don't really like it, because they can't really find any matches sometimes. In fact, I'm actually a victim of this. I can't even find really any matches in Overwatch because of the skill-based matchmaking in that game. So, anyways, Activision has introduced a new system for skill-based matchmaking. They're changing the way skill-based matchmaking is working according to this patent. And instead of it matching you up with players of similar skill level, let's just say you are a low-skilled player. Well, the new matchmaking system is going to pair you up with players of high skill level on the enemy team, not your team, on the enemy team. So that way they can completely destroy you. Now, I know you might be thinking, wait a minute, this is really stupid. There's got to be a reason why they're doing this, right? Well, yes, there is a reason. So, what Activision thinks is essentially, if you get paired up with higher skill players and you get destroyed by them, you're basically going to have more of an incentive to buy supply drops so you can get some better weapons so you can actually take on those higher skill people. So basically they're making the matchmaking system worse because they want you to buy supply drops. That's essentially what they're doing. Yeah, that is greed levels that shouldn't be possible. So the reason why I don't like supply drops that much is because they add content that, I mean, it's really easy and cheap to make and can give players an extreme advantage, and they're always expensive. And especially with supply drops, you're not even guaranteed to get the thing you want. You have a chance to get the thing you want. So if you spend money on a loot box, you might not even get the thing that you want. And especially with weapons, it's a very low chance. So effectively, this is kind of like gambling, which, you know, yeah. And, you know, greedy companies can make a lot of money off of this and just completely hinder the gameplay experience because of this. And Activision especially are known for this. So if this feature does go into place, that'll essentially ruin the game. Because then you'll just get matched up with players of much higher skill level than you. You're just going to get wrecked every single time until you buy supply drops. Oh yeah, and another thing. They're also saying that if you do have some of the overpowered stuff equipped, it's going to try to match you up with lower skill players so you can feel like you actually have an advantage. Ugh. Yeah, they're trying to make Call of Duty into a slot machine, essentially. And that's really not good. It completely ruins the original idea of what a Call of Duty game was. It completely ruins the balancing, especially in matchmaking. And yeah, this is just absolutely greedy of them to do this. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to make this video talking about that, because that is really, really greedy of Activision. And another thing is that one point that I know I'm going to get a lot in the comments is, well, if you don't like this, then just don't buy the supply drops. They'll remove this system if you don't buy the supply drops. Well, here's the thing. They wouldn't be implementing the system if the supply drops were selling. They probably wouldn't really change the system if supply drops were doing well. I bet supply drop sales have probably been going down, so Activision have implemented this new system into matchmaking to get supply drop sales back up. So not buying them is probably going to make the problem even worse. They'll probably find some new system to implement, and probably something even more greedy, maybe even having to, get tickets or something to be able to matchmake in supply drops, which would be ultra greedy. But I wouldn't be surprised if Activision did something like that. So yeah, that I don't really think that not buying supply drops would really be the solution. What I really think would be the solution would just be not buying the game. If you don't buy the game, then they won't even be able to earn any money off of supply drops, but they also won't be able to earn money off of game sales either, which will really hurt them. And since they can't, they wouldn't even be able to implement new features into matchmaking because nobody would be there to do that. So if the new COD game sells really poorly, if it has this new matchmaking system, then they might be able to remove it. Well, they might be able to. They just might remove it. Yeah, and I know, voicing our opinion about this on YouTube isn't really going to matter. If you just yell about this on YouTube, no, Activision's just not going to care. They're just going to think, oh, you're going to buy the game anyways. I don't really care. I just want money. So not buying the game will really hurt them, and that'll really show them that this supply drop thing does not work. It is not okay. So one of the things that I do recommend is going back to a Call of Duty without supply drops and just continuously play that. Something like Black Ops 2 or even the original Black Ops, because those games are still really popular. If the player base in that game just grows, but the player base of the newer Call of Duty games with supply drops starts plummeting, maybe Activision will realize, wait a minute, this stuff without supply drops sells better. Let's just do that. So I think that's my general opinion on that. I don't really think not buying supply drops would help, because I honestly think not doing that kind of brought us into this situation in the first place. I think going back to previous COD games would really hurt them, and just not playing the new ones, that would really, really hurt them. So, what are your thoughts on this matter? Leave a comment in the comments. Leave a comment in the comments below. And if you did like this video, leave a like and a subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.